An eerie bluish cloud on the Mississippi River this afternoon. Among other things, it contains the chemical benzene. It's still causing havoc and evacuations tonight. Good evening. I'm Donna Britt.
And I'm George Sells. Well, the chemical cloud came this afternoon from one of the 25 barges which went out of control on the river yesterday. At this hour, diving crews are battling just arriving rain to try to go out on the river below the barge and see where the leaks in that barge are. The leaking barge is exactly a mile south of the old river bridge. Winds blowing toward the north then carried fumes from the barge northward past the bridge onto the Southern University campus. A 2-square-mile area of Scotlandville, including the Southern campus, was declared a danger area. Then, just before 6 this evening, Southern officials ordered a complete evacuation of the campus. Hundreds of Southern students were bused to the LSU campus. And that's where WAFB's Maria Purdy is standing by live right now. Maria?
Well, Georgia, the 16,000 students who attend classes at Southern University, only 2,000 or so were left on campus by 6 p.m. this evening. Of those, most have found shelter elsewhere. Only 250 or so have come here to the LSU Fieldhouse for the night, and they have had plenty of visitors. The chancellor, the president of the university, both Wilson and Cleo Fields, have come by. They are visiting students here. Between Red Cross volunteers, Southern Police, and LSU Police, the students have finally been fed, and they are safe for the night. They've had a nurse to attend any medical problems, but this promises to be one very long night ahead.
Mandatory evacuations began just before 6 p.m. More than a dozen city buses transported stranded students from one campus to the next and out of harm's way.
They told us overnight that we would probably experience some additional difficulty because the wind was shifting to this direction. So we just went ahead and moved our students out of it.
But for a lot of students, the call to evacuate made a bad situation even worse.
Now, if they had let us know earlier, people could have evacuated sooner. Now they got a big mess going on.
Immediate concerns were accounting for all the students, more than 1,000, then arranging for late meals across campus in shifts of 40. And sleeping arrangements come with safety, not comfort, in mind.
They were told to bring pillows and blankets, and I've seen some come in, but not very many.
Basically, what I'm ready for is anything. I don't know how long we might be here. They said a day, but God will provide.
Well, I'm prepared. I'm prepared.
Most of these young evacuees are prepared for, and in some cases we should probably say resigned to, the long night ahead. Some of the die-hard students have their books out and are trying to get some studying done, but others have cranked up the stereos. A few are playing basketball behind us. We are probably not going out on much of a limb here, George, to say there probably won't be a whole lot of studying going on, and from the looks of things, not much sleeping either.
Okay, they're college people. Maria, what about classes at Southern tomorrow morning?
That is, of course, the question of the hour, and at this hour there is no answer to that. They're going to have to watch the conditions throughout the night. The rain, of course, will have some effect on that, the wind conditions, wind speed. All of those things will be taken into effect, and a decision will be made probably sometime very early tomorrow morning. We hope to have the very latest information tomorrow morning on daybreak.
Okay, thanks very much, Maria Purdy, reporting from the LSU campus where all those Southern students are now located.
The barge, which has produced all of today and tonight's problems, was being pushed to Texas. It's been babied here all day today. Now, you see the towboat trying to keep it under control about a mile below the old river bridge. WAP's Jennifer Donnellan was at Southern University when winds started carrying the chemical cloud toward campus.
Some say Scotts Bluff at Southern University is one of the city's prettiest views of the Mississippi River. But today, there was potential danger on the horizon.
Whatever's coming off the river, I'm not sure what it is, but it's just making me dizzy and got a bad headache.
Students say this blue haze rolled off the river around 9 this morning. Students say the pungent, thick vapor made them sick.
My head hurt, my eyes, I feel real dizzy.
DEQ, Hazmat, and state police monitored the situation. They say the gas this morning contained very small amounts of benzene, nothing to worry about. Then, later that day, the haze rolled in again. This time, the problem was serious. The benzene was back and more concentrated.
So my recommendation is to call the DEQ, ask the secretary whether they can put a constant monitor here, so whether they can provide you
Well, we've been having
site.
a lot of complaints from students.
Sure,
the respiratory situation. I think what my decision is going to be is to cancel classes for the rest of the day and let the employees go home.
Close to 60 students and staff visited the infirmary with irritated eyes and upset stomachs. After Chancellor Yates dismissed classes, traffic began piling up as students and staff began to leave. 2 women were rushed to the hospital from possible exposure to the gas. Jennifer Donnellan, WAFB News.
We want to emphasize that even tonight, authorities are still not absolutely sure what was in the cloud that swept the campus. DEQ Secretary Dale Givens on our 6 o'clock news told us test results are still not available on the cloud. He says ordinarily benzene has no color at all, and that's why he's surprised at the definite bluish color of today's cloud from the barge.
Well, the mere smell of benzene caused them to evacuate the Casino Rouge riverboat just after 6 tonight.
We're not open, sir.
The rolling sign on the marquee says riverboat closed because of chemical spill. Workers and boat customers were asked to leave tonight just after sundown. Casino officials are doing this voluntarily. State police did not order the Casino Rouge evacuation.
We could detect an odor of benzene earlier in the afternoon, and there's an indication that the wind direction will be changing tonight, and if that's the case, we didn't want to put any of our employees, our customers, in jeopardy.
Then later tonight, boat operators decided to move the whole vessel downriver. The Casino Rouge is now docked at the Benzene Barge terminal south of the Interstate 10 bridge. The other gambling boat, the Belle of Baton Rouge, has remained open tonight. The Belle is fully 3 miles from the trouble area.
There is no apparent lack of expertise overseeing the situation. Federal, state, and local authorities are all keeping a close eye on the Mississippi River tonight. Salvage crews arrived at about 4:30 this afternoon to begin the long, tedious process of trying to clean this spill. Divers tell WAP News tonight their instructions are to plug any leaks in the barge containing the benzene, and then if they can't patch it, will offload the chemical. Now tonight, officials say the actual lifting and removal of the barge won't occur until tomorrow afternoon after a salvage crane from New Orleans is expected to arrive. WAP's Monty Danos is standing by live at the command post, joins us now with the latest. Monty.
Donna, as you can see, the rain continues to fall out here, which is actually helping keep some of those benzene vapors at a low point. It's helping to actually keep the vapors down, and that way it's not spreading to some of the other areas in town. Joining us now with the latest, Lieutenant Mike Edmondson with the Louisiana State Police. Mike, what exactly is the plan of action for the dive crews here tonight?
We're going over the final plan that the dive crew wants to use. They're going to go out to the boat, they're going to go underwater, they're going to assess it, see if they can find the leaks, if any, down there, and then try to find out at what point of action they'll take it from there. What they'd like to do is try to hook up the lines and start offloading. We've got a barge out there, they can offload it. And then sometime tomorrow when the crane gets here out of New Orleans, we'll go ahead and get it turned over because it is upside down in the water.
Quickly, Mike, if you would, how long is the shelter in place going to remain here?
We're going to do so as long as we keep those numbers up there. We're monitoring the situation with DEQ, the fire department, everybody's keeping those numbers up. As long as we get those, we're going to keep it in place, and if it changes in other areas, we'll start assessing that too.
All right, thanks, Mike. Lieutenant Mike Edmondson, actually, with Louisiana State Police. That's the situation out here, Donna. Back to you.
Monty, I can hear the rain hitting your head. You know, that's a major highway, that river behind you. What is the status of river traffic right now?
Well, right now, river traffic on a 2.5-mile stretch just north of the US 190 bridge is at a halt. Of course, that's being done not only for the protection of the salvage crews and for people downriver, it's also for the protection of people who are on those water vessels. This whole barge accident occurred because of the high river stages and because of unusually rapid currents.
Okay, thank you. WAP's Monty Danos at the command center.
So this update for you, just heard Mike Edmondson of State Police telling us about those numbers. The numbers he's talking about are police and DEQ officials all over the area, north and to the west and east of the barge site, carrying monitors that measure the amount of benzene in the air. Those numbers are monitored all night long. As long as the numbers remain high, they have to maintain keep people away and keep the areas evacuated to the north. So far, there have been more than 35 people taken to hospitals or others who have just walked into hospitals. Here are the symptoms of overexposure to benzene: drowsiness, dizziness, and headaches, possibly even nausea. But doctors who have been treating these cases tonight say a trip to the hospital isn't really necessary. Your own body will take care of itself once you remove the presence of benzene. And there's one other note. If you have questions about alerts and warnings involving all this, you can call the Baton Rouge Office of Emergency Preparedness at 389-3035. That's 389-3035.